Hey guys, and welcome to the video. In this video, we will be giving you a rundown of the virtual classroom and its features. If you're ready, follow me and let's get started. Over here in the top left corner, we have our network latency indicator. This is a time in milliseconds between you and the virtual classroom. If you see this number is relatively low and stable, you're all good. If the number is spiking and unstable, this could be an indication of network issues that are occurring, in which case you may contact IT support for further assistance. Try to ensure you take your classes in an environment with a fast, stable internet connection to ensure optimal connectivity. Okay? If you look to my left, you will notice the class files list. This is where you can find the class PPT and whiteboard functions. The whiteboard just being a blank slate that you can write, draw, and interact with. If you change from the PPT to the whiteboard, you can jump back to the PPT by going back to the list and clicking on the class PPT file. Below the class files list is the media files list. If there are any media files associated with the class, they can be found here. It should be noted that as of currently, there are no classes that have media files associated with them, as more and more of the classes are becoming interactive, as in the media files are embedded within the PPTs. The last icon that we can see in the top left area is the students list. Here we can find the name of the student that is currently attending our class. Now we'll move down here to the bottom left area. The first icon we can see is the settings icon. In this area, we can set our audio, video, and microphone settings, which should be done at least once before beginning to teach the classes to ensure everything is working as it should. We can also find our system information here, so if you have any IT issues or you submit a ticket to Freshdesk, it may be handy to take a screenshot of this and send it alongside your ticket so that IT has a better chance at being able to help you out. The icon below the settings icon is the help button. If you click on this, it goes through a brief introduction of the different parts of the classroom, like a very stripped down version of what we're talking about in this video. This icon here, in the bottom left of the classroom, is the Seek Help, or more specifically, the IT support button. If you run into any issues in the class, you may click on this button, select the type of issue that you're having, submit, and one of our IT support staff will be with you as soon as possible. There is a 3-minute cooldown upon submitting a help request to ensure quality of service across the board, so please keep this in mind. Now, let's move over here to the top right corner. Here we can find our Start Class button and Class Timer. You may only start the class at the designated class time, and after 25 minutes, the Finish Class button will become selectable. There will be a reminder that displays as the class end draws near. Clicking on the Finish Class button will play a goodbye song for the student, at which point you may exit the classroom. Leaving the class early or without clicking the Finish Class button may result in penalties, so please ensure that you leave the class only after the 25-minute period and the Finish Class button has been clicked. This is where the student's video will be displayed. As you can see, there are buttons for enabling and disabling the student's audio and video if needed. You can also see how many rewards have been given to the student, and if we click on the smiley face in the top right corner, we can apply some filters to the student's video to make a class a little more fun. The teacher's video area is displayed below that of the students. The same buttons can be seen. You may enable and disable your audio and video if necessary, and apply a filter for yourself by selecting the smiley face, then the filter of your choice. On the bottom here, we have the chat box. Here, you may communicate with the parents and students via text. On both the teachers and students side, the text can be translated by clicking on the message. This will facilitate easier communication between the parents or student if other methods prove difficult. If any problems occur during the class, you may write a message to the parents through the chat box and use the IT support button to request assistance. Now, we're going to take a look at what tools we have for use in the classroom. The first tool we can see is our pointer tool. For any interactive features on the PPT, we will need to have our pointer tool selected in order to use them. It's also useful to keep in mind that whatever tool we select is automatically selected on the student side as well. The student only has access to a few tools, such as the pen, eraser, and pointer, and if you select the pointer tool on your side, that's the only tool they have access to on theirs. So you can't ask them to draw after you've selected the pointer tool. The second tool that we can see is our pen tool. We can use the pen tool to draw on the PPT area. If you make a mistake while using the pen tool, then you may select the eraser tool to correct it. If we wish to clear the entire screen, we can click this, the clear screen button. The icon below the clear screen tool is our reward function. So if the student does a good job in the class, then you may click on this button to give them a reward. What this button does is it makes an animation of a star appear for the student. Now keep in mind that there can only be 5 stars given in any one class, so be sure to spread them out and come up with your own reward system as a backup. Below these tools, we can find another panel accessible via this ... panel here. These contain a few extra, less common tools for the classroom. The first tool we can see is our number spinner, which is basically just a virtual die, and the second one is a virtual timer that we can use for a number of different activities. In the second row, we can find our laser pen and highlighter tools. The laser pen is basically just a pointer tool that we can use for some reading activities, and the highlighter just highlights whatever is behind it. Next to them are our line and arrow tools, which can help you draw straight lines and arrows when needed. In the third row, we can find our text tools. Selecting one of these 3 fonts and clicking on the PPT will place down a text region in which you can type whatever you want to write. The text will appear in the font that you have selected. The fourth row contains some shape tools in which we can place a perfectly formed circle or square, either filled or hollow, onto the PPT area. The last row in the Extra Tools drop-down menu contains our undo and redo buttons. If we make a mistake, then we can undo that action by clicking on the undo button. Likewise, if we undo something and we wish for it to reappear, we can click the redo button. Keep in mind that if you want to clear the screen, the clear screen button is most likely faster than undoing your previous actions. So now that we have an understanding of what tools we can use on the PPTs, now it's time for us to take a look at how we navigate through the PPTs. For this, we're going to take a look at this bar down here. As you can see here, we have our left and right navigation buttons to go to the next and previous PPT slides. The box in the middle contains our current slide and can be edited to jump to a particular slide if we wish. Next to these are our zoom in and zoom out functions, in which, as you can expect, zoom in and zoom out of the PPT display area. If we wish to make the PPT display area full screen, then we can click on our full screen button here, like so. If you wish to exit out of full screen, you can click on the button again. You will notice that the button changes to point inwards once the screen becomes full screen. The final button on the far right here is our volume slider. This will set the classroom volume. If the interactive features on the slide or the student are too loud, then you can lower the volume here, or vice versa if the sound is too quiet. The last feature that we're going to take a look at can be found on every slide of the PPT, our teaching tips. If you come across a slide and you're not sure what to do on that slide, you can take a look at the class tips at the top here. If you wish to hide them, you can click on the arrow button here. The class tips will automatically show on every slide of the PPT, except the first slide, which is an introduction to the parents. So, that pretty much wraps up everything you guys need to know in regards to the classroom and its functions. My name's Nahin, and I've been your guide for today. I hope you guys have a good time teaching with GoGoKid, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye for now.